Go for it.
We are back. Episode 15 of Joga Bonito. I'm joined by Callum Ratchey, and this week we've got a special
We
guest.
do have a special. The eagle-eyed viewers that are watching this would notice that's not Luke sitting there. We're joined by the one and only Goggsy. How you doing?
I'm fantastic, mate. Thanks for having me.
Scottish media football royalty. Scottish football media royalty.
I know, yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but thank you very much.
Come on. Some of the names you've been telling us about before we start recording here.
Name dropping.
Name dropping all day, but he's the biggest name of them all. And we've got him on. He's our first guest on the show.
Producer Jack, I suppose. Well,
Producer Jack's part of the production.
but that's true actually.
So-
Yeah. First, certainly
External
interview.
guest.
Biggest name, yeah.
Biggest name, yeah.
Biggest name in your contacts, Goggsy.
Marvin Bartley's up there, I think.
Oh, that's a good one. Big Marv, yeah.
Any others? Do you have Ailey Barber then if you've got Marv's?
No, I don't. I've got Stephen Craig, and I don't know if he likes me having that, but
Quaver Toes, as he's known in the...
Does he have you saved on his phone? That's what
probably not. No,
Okay. Now, the next bit of the challenge is you call them up. Right?
no.
We do this with all our guests. Marvin
I
Bartley.
don't think I'm close enough with Marv to.
Marv.
Well,
You know him as Marv,
I
yeah.
played FIFA with him during COVID, but
Did you?
yeah.
Is he good? I thought he hates people playing video games, famously, from his interview.
Well, he did say that the last thing he had in his PlayStation before getting the latest FIFA at the time was like FIFA 17. So that was like 3 or 4 years in between. But it's because I don't know if you remember, Tony Watt had a whole bunch of like pro players on his pro clubs during the start of COVID, and I was playing with them for about a week or so, and then I decided not to because I was focused on exams. But yeah, no, it was a good time. CJ Novo put videos out on his YouTube as well. That was a really funny time actually, hearing a lot about pro players like lives just shooting the shit. Really, it's can I swear?
You can swear, yeah.
There we go.
You should see Luke when he's here. He swears like a flipping docker, doesn't he? Non-stop. Yeah, it's terrible. What's
Mouth, that man.
famous contact in yours?
Nah, I don't really have anyone famous. Callum Ratchey.
Me?
Callum
Oh,
Ratchey
thank you.
underscore football is pretty
Wait,
big.
I've got Goggsy now.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Getting there.
Build the profile.
Exactly. You'll get there, yeah. Maybe one day. Right. Maybe one day you'll have Marvin Bartley. So you're not just here to, name drop.
No.
We're gonna have a bit of an in-depth discussion as one of the most. Are you one of the most well-known Motherwell fans out there? Would you say?
Motherwell.
I'd
What?
say.
I thought he was a Roma fan.
Well,
I thought we were getting you into
The colours are
football.
quite representative of Motherwell as well.
yeah, I can't get away from it. Yeah.
Right. Well, look behind me. We've got the shirt.
I know. Give us a wee 180 of the kit behind you.
Aye, well,
Not the one you're wearing.
but aye, well. So yeah, it's got Richie Foran's name on the back.
Richie Foran on the back.
It's the first Motherwell shirt I saw being played in live. We lost to Dundee in February 2005, and that was my first ever trip to a football game. And I thought, well, a subscriber of mine sent it to me from New Zealand, funnily enough, a few months ago.
What's it doing in New Zealand then?
I have no idea. That's
Crazy.
Is that a Kiwi? Was he a Kiwi or?
No, it's just a Motherwell fan. Funnily enough, he was friends with my dad on Facebook, and that's how I found him. Because he obviously had his name, and he just sent it in a package, and I didn't expect it to come, but I was like, oh, that's a lovely surprise.
It's a lovely kit.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, the sponsor's quite apt though, because I'm a bit of a zoomer myself.
It's meant to be, isn't it? Yeah.
You said it, not us.
Bit of self-promo.
Yeah, of course.
I love that. So we're going to go into a deep Motherwell chat, but
Yeah.
we've also got something exciting on the horizon, and we purposely not spoke too much about on the podcast yet. But there's a big competition coming up. Talk about these Motherwell players. This is the serious football. This is some of the finest football players, some of the worst football players in Scotland coming together. Some of the best ones, maybe. I don't know what the level's like. We saw you doing some keepy uppies in the back garden before we started going.
Yeah, it's a habit.
Kick the seat rather.
Yeah,
But that wasn't representative of your skill.
No.
That was just.
I'm far worse.
So it's a Sammon Pizzeria's 5-side tournament. Take it away. Tell us about the details.
Well, we started off. a bit of backstory from my experience in doing these sort of events. Obviously, the last few years I was playing the Scotland versus England YouTubers match that was on Theo Baker's channel, and the last 3 years we did it. I mean, Scotland won the second one. We lost the first one because we had like 17 days notice of the game happening.
Well.
We lost 4-0. Chris MD scored. Theo Baker scored twice.
These are big names just dropping now.
Yeah, of
Did
course.
you half any of them or?
No, but Big Jamel won 5, half me. He basically, I stupidly competed for a header with him from a goal kick. I thought, I'm never winning this battle, so I'll just try and win a free kick. And his elbow goes right into the back of my skull, and I was on the ground for about 2-3 minutes. I had to get subbed, and I think I had concussion for like 3 weeks after.
Jesus, dirty. Those English boys,
Yeah,
honestly.
those Sassenachs. But no, after that we played this, because the first 2 games were at Ibrox, and we won the second game on penalties, which was fantastic. It was a great one. And then we played at Elland Road last year, and we lost 3-1. But still, it was a fantastic experience. Like, I was man marking Mini Minter for the last 10 minutes in the game.
Who lined up for Scotland?
For Scotland, we had CJ Razbowski, some of Scotland's biggest creators.
CJ Nova, he was playing my football on a Monday. I played 7 to Stenny.
You played with him, eh?
Yeah, well, he basically used Monday football with us. And he told us that as training and warm up, and then as soon as that game happened, he didn't come back. So
yeah, he's got off the boil a bit in terms of playing football.
Is he a player?
Yeah, he likes to gallop. He's a player that if you just put the ball down the wing, he'll run into the channels. And
I tell you, at 7s, he was a proper sit on the shoulder, stand back, didn't trap back.
Right, okay.
You know,
No.
stayed up there. It's not me. I'll get involved. You know, but he stays up.
He's
quick,
a game winner.
Quick
Game winner.
finisher. Yeah, he's one of them. Yeah.
Aye, but
Terrible attitude though. Yeah, no tracking back. No tracking back.
Call him out here.
No,
funny thing is,
he's a lot better than me. So.
funny thing is, he was told me off for not tracking back even. So
No, but that's because you've got to do the tracking back for him. You can't have 2 people not tracking back.
no,
You can't have 2 Lottery players in a team.
no.
PSG.
Exactly.
Oh, sorry, I feel we're getting a bit sidetracked here.
Other players, we've got Josie Santana, who's a TikTok streamer and on Twitch, and we've got a few other boys that have had a bit of experience playing like Sunday League and amateur stuff. One of the boys actually played football in the Czech Republic.
Oh well.
For the Prague Raptors, Callum Skilling. He's a really good player.
They're in Phoenix. They're in the Phoenix Trophy. The Braves.
So he's quite well travelled. But no, it was great. Marley 13's another name to drop as well. Let's say he's probably a big name in my phone book as well.
Never ending fun, but guess.
Well, when you've been on YouTube for like 13 years, you sort of pick up a few names along the way.
So how does this all lead up to 5-side tournament this summer then?
Basically, I had a void. I was looking for something to do because I'm the type of person that lives off productivity. I like to have a project, and well, I was trying to get fit for these Scotland v England things, and then I just thought next year I don't really have anything as a sort of YouTube event to sort of look forward to. So I thought, right, I'll take it to the Sammon's Pizzeria chat, see what the boys think and girls, and from February we've been sitting planning this massive thing. It ties in with my work because I work for World of Football in Edinburgh, and we've got it's a massive thing. 18 teams have paid up so far. We've got 30 odd teams in the conversation.
So far. We're watching, right?
Yeah.
Bailiff's coming.
No, but I just thought if we tied in a charity to this, that adds legitimacy to the event, and Dementia Scotland our cause, and we're going to have every game filmed. It's going to be put on the Pizzeria channels, and hopefully we're going to raise a lot of money. So far we've raised over £1,500. without a ball being kicked. So
Brilliant.
I'm absolutely buzzing for this. This is the most organised I've ever been for anything in my life. So I'm just hoping that the event does the planning justice.
Yeah, you do deserve a huge pat on the back or a pint or something like that. You are talking to, if you don't mind me saying, like 2 serial procrastinators at the time. And Fraser as our friends and like former classmates back in the day would agree with. But so credit to you for being productive.
Not gonna lie, doing this whole tournament has been a key in procrastination for other things that I've meant to be doing at the time, but I've just thought, well, I've put so much time into this. I just hope everyone has a great day.
Yeah, it's really certainly helps. And you decided to reach out to us to enter a team. Joga Bonito are going to be there. We've got some. Do you want to reveal a bit of our lineup?
It's a big lineup.
Oh.
So we've obviously got the 3 of us.
Well,
myself, Callum, and
unless you're looking for a team, you know.
The main man that's normally here in the middle, running the show, who's in cost right now. Hopefully, getting a bit of vitamin D and eating well and stretching and
warm weather training.
Yeah, that's the plan. I hope. Look, if you're watching, which you won't be as. So the 3 of us, producer Jack, with his safe hands.
Yeah, his big hands,
and big presence,
big ass, goal.
Nobody is going past him.
No.
That boy
is a challenge.
He's a keeper.
He certainly is.
Yeah.
We've revealed
more ways than one, ladies. If you're watching,
he's scouting them out.
We can put Jack's number at the bottom as well.
Maybe
required. And then
we had a big announcement last week for our team.
A huge announcement, actually. We've got the speckiest tube in the world.
Speckiest tube.
It's not Hugh Keevans.
Yeah.
Aaron Fraser.
He's joining the team.
Big signing.
Friend of yours as well.
Yeah, good friend of mine.
Yeah.
He must have some big names in his phone book as well.
Biggest, but no more. He knows his loyalty's tied to Joga Bonito.
Yeah.
We're hoping he's going to make an appearance pretty soon.
We had to put a blank check down in front of him to get him on board. It wasn't easy, but listen, he got on board with the philosophy, the culture of Joga Bonito, and he's up for it.
We've also got Kevin in the team, Kevin Maguire, who's a good friend of ours as well. Another GCU man.
Oh,
journalism. So, and the nice thing about everyone in our team so far is they've all done some stuff with Caledonian Braves as well. We've all all been part of former Caledonian Braves.
Shout out to the Braves after their big weekend.
Very, very impressive. FC United,
going off on a few tangents today, but this deserves a shout out.
Yeah, well, it's brilliant victory for them out in Italy, wasn't it? So
European silverware for a Scottish team this weekend.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen every day. So.
Yeah, according to some, the first time since 1967. According to Clement now, so not fact checked or anything. But, anyway,
just drop a minute.
So shout out to the Braves for that, and our team of former Caledonian Braves media people is growing strongly. We might have 1 or 2 more as well.
Yeah,
sure. You'll receive payment quickly and speedily from any extra players we pick
fantastic.
up.
You look forward to that. Being a bookkeeper for a charity event is
goodness me.
It's not the easiest job in the world.
But you've done a brilliant job of it. So if people want to, donate to it and check out the
link will be in the description, I'm sure.
Oh, you've given me a bit of extra work to do. That bit it will be. And finally, quickly, when's the tournament going to be, and how can you follow it?
Yeah, you can follow it on the Sammon's Pizzeria channels. We are announcing teams every other day or so at the moment, and it's going to be on Saturday the 14th of June. So it's a perfect time, really. It's in the sort of June limbo between seasons. And after that, I think the week after we'll start posting games, because there's going to be about 56 matches throughout the group stage alone.
World Cup.
Yeah, it's essentially a knockoff of a World Cup. But also the format of the tournament it's quite large, because what we've decided is so everyone's got a chance of playing an equal amount of football. Is games are going to be 12.5 minutes straight the way through. There's no second halves or anything. But after it's because
so 1 half.
It all depends on how many teams sign up, because we've got a format of 24 teams so far looked out, and a potential 32. So if it goes to 24 teams, then we'll have like the Euros. So you've got the best 2 teams in each group, and the best 2 third place teams go through into what we've got the El Dorado Cup, because our title sponsors El Dorado have been kind enough to give a large donation. And we've got a sort of plate trophy afterwards. So like the 8 worst ranked teams in the tournament will play a sort of Europa League
Brilliant
type thing.
Just engrave Joga Bonito.
And then if it somehow goes to 32 teams, then we've got a full schedule looked out, and then there'll be obviously 2 knockouts, so 2 rounds of 16 for each different trophy as well.
Yeah, this is a lot. I'm gonna I have to do.
It's one for football nerds, definitely.
I'm gonna just forget my football boots or something like that. All I need to do is turn up, and I'll be oh god, I've got no socks.
Just on that, who's your predictions? Favourite team in your predictions?
Well, I've got to say the SYT are putting a team in, and that's who I'm playing with.
I was going to ask who you're actually.
Yeah, so the likes of myself, a few other Scottish YouTubers which are yet to be announced.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
It's been announced, right.
So we're going to do our own announcements when it comes to it.
Are you captaining the team?
Well,
captain's armband on.
I don't know. I'm not really a leader on the pitch. I'm more of a benchman myself. But I can't laugh that much.
I was going to say.
Yeah, but no, I'm just really looking forward to the event.
Yeah.
And as long as everyone has a good time and we raise plenty of money for charity, then Dementia Scotland.
Brilliant, yeah. Great cause. Give us quickly what 5 teams you're most excited to see. Just give us names.
I'd say I'm looking forward to seeing what El Dorado have cooked up, because they're putting a team in.
Okay.
They have hinted at a former pro as well in their ranks. Someone who actually played for Motherwell one time. And
couldn't be James, could it?
No, I couldn't.
Was it Cole Stars?
No. It's a bit older than that, but he also played for a team in Iceland as well. So
are we allowed to get? You could get Cole Stars. We need to boost up the numbers a bit, I reckon.
But yeah, the other teams like the Hibs podcast, Long Banners. I'm looking forward to seeing who they've got lined up. We also have we've got a team from Airdrie coming in as well. So as a Motherwell fan, I'm looking forward to see what an Airdrie team could cook up. A couple other teams, the Flat Chat are putting a team in.
Yep.
And also
this is his last chance to see if he gets this right. He's missed one so far.
I'm looking forward to seeing who the boys at Joga Bonito.
There's only been one team turning up in full Brazil kits to this thing, hopefully.
I thought he wasn't going to get there.
I know.
It's the best to last. So
yeah, of course, best of luck to them.
Very exciting.
I'm looking forward to see what style you're bringing. Is it Brexit ball or is it?
It's Brexit ball.
Pure favela style.
With a touch of Brazilian samba, I think.
Yeah,
it's going to be a nice long brutal play.
Brutal play with a couple of wee flicks and tricks in there just to...
Sometimes beautiful game of Scottish football. So, right, we're buzzing for this. Very much looking forward to it. Should we get into the meat of this podcast?
Absolutely.
Right, we're going to talk all things Motherwell. Obviously, Goggsy, you say you're the main man to go to when it comes to Motherwell media, it feels like. So.
Well, tell Tam Cowan that.
Controversial there.
Is he in your phone book?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, there you go.
We've exchanged a few Instagram DMs over the years as well, so...
Nice. Sliding in there, eh?
Do you see eye to eye, or is it a...
I think we have a mutual respect for each other.
Oh, that's media talk. I can't stand that.
This guy's media trained and I love it. Make a good politician, Goggsy. No, so I'm going to cast your own mind back here.
Okay.
We're going to go all the way back to last summer. The sun's shining in the sky. League Cup group stage football is underway. A campaign that Motherwell do just about get through, but it's not in the most glamorous way in the start of the season. Squad, we look at some of the signings that came in last season. How do you sort of reflect on it? What was a bit of a bit of a mixed bag sort of collection of players?
Definitely a mixed bag. I mean, bringing in a few players we hadn't really heard of, like Apostolos Stamatolopoulos from Australia.
I was just about to say that. You took the tip of my tongue,
Yeah, but I think he'll come good in the end. Obviously, I think he'll have to play at least 25 or 26 games next season in order to make the sort of percentage for the work permits.
Right.
I think.
You play Football Manager.
A lot. Because, funnily enough, I came across that problem when he was my bench player and I had to sell him. But I think his last game was last year against Rangers when he got the goal. It was a handful. They couldn't live with him. But unfortunately, he's been injured ever since. I think he'll come good in the end. I wasn't too inspired with a few of the signings, like Zach Robinson.
Yeah,
I think
he showed flashes at Dundee, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but his flashes were in the Championship.
Yeah. To be fair,
because he didn't really set the header alight in the Premiership. Other players were unknown quantities, like I'd say Filip Stiperovic, who went to Morton on loan.
Tom Sparrow a bit.
Tom Sparrow was a funny one because he was on loan at Aki's.
Yeah, didn't press too much.
No, Aki's fans were saying on the announcement that they were very underwhelmed with how he played. But I think he's a utility type of player, and he may not be glamorous. He may not be, he might not have any flair, but he is a workhorse, and that's the type of player that epitomises what Motherwell stand for as a club.
Added goals to his game as well, which
he has. Yeah,
too, so.
He's been brilliant. He got a good goal at Dundee. A couple goals against St Johnstone. In games that we really had to pick up points. So he's probably been worth about 7 or 8 points. On
which is huge. Yeah. So casting your mind back then last summer, some other names coming in, like Ross Callahan, not been seen since really.
He's now at Barber, I believe.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, he's probably one of the best looking footballers we've ever signed, but
he's got a good banner.
Yeah, but he's not really played. I mean, I saw a video of him doing backflips. I was like, well, where are you on the pitch, mate?
Yeah.
But I would say one player that I have loved us having, secretly because I had him on Football Manager like 2 or 3 years ago, was Tawanda Masvenizi. He was wonderful for me in the game, and to see him be signed for us in real life was quite good, because I knew what to expect because I'd done a bit of research on him, and he's the type of player I love Motherwell having, the type of player that can get fans off their seat, off their bums on the seats, and just he's got a box of tricks, electric pace. He's got a bit of skill. He can leap quite well because he scored that header at Dundee. He wasn't really the favourite to win that ball, but he is a fantastic player. I think he'll be our next £1 billion signing after Lennon Miller.
Really? Okay.
£1 million sale even, because I just think he's a great player. He's like, I grew up on Motherwell playing with fast wingers like Chris Humphrey, Omar Daly, and they were really effective. It's what helped Michael Higdon get so many goals, and of course Bole Aribi as well from a few years ago when we had him on loan. Just a player like that is who I like to have for Motherwell. Someone who's fast, bit of skill, can impress people, and he may be sold for a fair bit in the future.
Yeah. So when some of the names are coming in, you've not gone too big name in the profile. Some of the signings, Andy Halliday coming in, Tony Watt coming back.
Yeah.
Is there any alarm bells sort of ringing at the start of the season? The group stage of the League Cup wasn't the most impressive performances if we look back.
I was quite critical considering Kettlewell's start as a manager. We were playing very decent. Obviously, when Kevin Van Veen was in the team. And then he was sold to Groningen, and we didn't really replace him. 29 goals is a lot for one player to replace.
Loss, yeah.
And we signed about 4 or 5 strikers, and none of them really impressed me too much. Obviously, Stiparovic was away to Morton. Zach Robinson, on the face of it, looks like a decent signing because
I like Stiparovic though. When I've seen him, he's been good. Morton.
Well, he scored a really good goal in the group stage against Clyde. But that was in a cameo performance. We only played about 15-20 minutes. But seeing some of the players we'd signed back, Tony Watt isn't really a proven goal scorer. I mean, he had that great season, half of a season where he was then transferred to Dundee United, in which he was the top scorer of the league at the time. And I think if he had stayed at Motherwell, then he'd have a better goal scoring record.
It was a weird move, yeah.
Well, a sideways move is probably a better way to describe it, and then Dundee United get relegated.
Yeah.
So, but he was on a lot better money. It meant that he could stay in Scotland because obviously, like, he was going to be out of contract, and when you're out of contract, obviously it's a bit unpredictable where you're going to be in 6 months. So I can understand that move.
Yeah.
However, a lot of Motherwell fans didn't.
Yeah, I guess sort of. He seems to be one that's, if he's really motivated and playing well, he's a great player to have. But it seems to be his choice if he wants to. And he's another one. He's out of contract now in summer.
Yeah, he's out of contract in the summer, which is why he's played really well the last 3 games. Well, it wasn't that great against Hearts, but neither was anyone really. But he was the best player in the park against St Johnstone and arguably against Dundee as well.
Playing for a contract.
100%. But it's in these moments at this point of the season where you're needing someone to step up and actually lead the line, because we haven't really had a consistent striker this season. And I mean, we've got like a 36 player squad.
Yeah.
So it's a bit precarious at times. It's like picking the lottery numbers.
It seems a bit like
predicting the starting lineup.
Seems like getting in like a handful of mud and throwing it at a wall and just hope one bit sticks on. And usually one does at Motherwell in a way. Yeah,
exactly. So. We've got a good track record of like having a good striker, just
developing them as well. Sort of.
Developing them as well, because like what we did with Theo Bear was
unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think what the idea was signing attributes. So players that have one really good attribute that you can sort of develop in other areas as well. Like Theo Bear's a powerful striker, and everyone looked down on his signing from Motherwell, but he scored in his first game at Dundee, and he was a bit in and out of the squad. He was overshadowed by Mika Beereth quite really. So I mean, look at him now; he's at Monaco,
brilliant player,
and he's worth probably about €20 million. But the funny stat is, Mika Beereth is one of the best players I've seen in a Motherwell shirt in recent times, but we only won 2 games out of 13 he started.
That's a wild stat, isn't it?
That is insane.
That is absolutely
consider his quality.
Yeah, it's absolutely mad, and it's a shame that he didn't stay on for the second half of the season, because I think we'd have reached top 6 quite comfortably, and that's after a 16-match spell without a win. But he was a wonderful player to have, and then Sturm Graz said they would cover the loan fees from Arsenal if they were to get him in the second season. And then they signed him for $4 million in the following window. But yeah, one of the best players I've seen in a Motherwell kit, and unfortunately not much to show for it.
Yeah, it's crazy when you do look at it that way. And obviously this season then goes on a little bit, and there's the high profile, highly publicised in the media dismissal of Stuart Catterwell. He resigned, I suppose, didn't he? Sorry. What do you make of all that?
It's a funny one because, well, obviously you're wanting your manager to do well. No one likes to see a manager get sacked or leave. But I think the pressure got to him. Obviously, I think a lot of Motherwell fans were more worried about where the team was going. Right. Instead of what already happened. Obviously, he got us to a cup semi-final, which...
I was going to say, from an outside perspective, sitting in the top 6, at times as well, and cup semi-final, it looks good.
It looks good, but there were signs that wasn't solid. I mean, we won 2-1 for most of the games that we won. I mean, I think there was a stat that we had the most back-to-back 2-1 victories in recent times in the top flight.
I mean, most clubs would take that.
I mean, yes.
That's a phenomenal stat.
I mean, it's wild for a Motherwell fan to be stating this, but the thing is, I think it was the way we were playing. There was a spell in which we were, I think across 15 games or so, we'd only had more shots on target than our opposition for about 3 or 4 games out of that spell, which was weird. But there was a sign of things not going well. Like we lost 4-1 at Dundee on a Wednesday night in November, I think. And
that famous Wednesday night in November.
Yeah, and I just felt, it was the start of December, sorry. And I just felt at that point we were on the start of one of those bad 16-match runs, because there were signs of it. Even though fine margins went against us in that game, Balmer was injured in the box, and we could have got a penalty from that had VAR stepped in. But Dundee scored from the same phase of play, and they went on to score another 2 goals in that 7-minute period. Right. So, like, there were signs of capitulation. But then we got a massive win against Dundee United to win 4-3 later on that month, and I thought, right, we've potentially saved ourselves from our annual bad run. But then things got worse. We're playing timid football at times, and there wasn't really much of a direction because the focal point of attack was changing every game. Stam was really good. I thought he was a terrific number 9, but he got injured after the game against Rangers. And then we went on that spell where we lost to St Johnstone twice in a week. And I think that was the point where Motherwell fans were like, right, well, a lot of people had said that they were wanting Kettlewell gone earlier on in the season, but me trying to be as diplomatic as I can, like, obviously there was credit in the bank with the semi-final, but on that run to the semi-final, we were playing not very well. Like, we only won 2 games in the group stage, and then we had that dreadful game against Partick Thistle that you were at, and then we beat Kilmarnock in extra time. We only beat them because they had European football on the Thursdays. Yeah. And then we beat Dundee United after playing very poorly in the first half. Dundee United could have been 2 or 3 up. And then we got our act together. Zach Robinson scored a good goal right in half time, and then Louis Moult scored a wonder goal to bring the game level with like 15 minutes to go.
Exactly, we tear in the eye at that moment, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's first game back against Motherwell.
Incredible.
And he scored an incredible goal, and I'll never grudge Louis Moult of anything. It's kind of actually nice to see him score a good goal. Unfortunately, it was against us.
Aye.
But I always look out for
Did he celebrate?
No.
Oh.
No, he didn't.
What a guy.
What nonsense.
Cancel him.
But getting to the semi-final was great. It was also good for the channel as well, because at that point, I'm now at a point where I'm trying to develop the channel and get into different audiences, but to get Motherwell to a cup semi-final was also very good for me, because it was like seeing Andy Halliday score against Rangers to make it 1-0 was a fantastic moment. It really was.
I enjoyed celebrating that one.
Aye, but
woke nonsense.
Again, woke nonsense.
Yeah, I can agree on that one. Yeah.
No, unfortunately, we played really poor in that, and I think that was a turning point in our season.
Right.
Because, we don't get to many cup semi-finals or even finals, and we didn't play at our best. And Rangers have been very precarious at times this season, and I thought they were there for the taking, and we did nothing after taking the lead. Absolutely nothing. We just sat back, and that, for me, that was a point where we really should have tried to build in the lead, and we didn't, and we just sat back and let Rangers come at us, and they got 2 goals in the second half and beat us. But for me, after that game, we just didn't replicate the form we had in the early parts of the season, and that sparked a bad run of form. And then next thing we knew, we were managerless, because Kettlewell just, I don't think, could handle the stress. And he saw where we were going. We were sat 5th in the league, which from an outsider's perspective is good, considering we are not really a club that budgets for the top 6. But the direction we were heading was only one way, and that was down.
I do find it interesting to get a Motherwell fan's actual opinion on it, because it was so much in the media, like Fraser, you'd agree as well. I'm sure you never really want to see a manager get to a stage where they feel like that. And I feel like that's not really a statement of Motherwell fans in particular, because I think it happens at every club at the end of the day, and there's probably a lot of abuse and comments that probably shouldn't go towards the manager, of course.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Scottish football at times.
It's toxic.
It kind of, I feel like that looks bad on Motherwell fans, and I'm not going to probably excuse some of the stuff that you hear, but so how does a Motherwell fan actually look at that from their perspective?
Well, for me, I felt like we were targeted by the media, because obviously the media loves Stuart Kettlewell.
He does speak well.
He speaks well, but he didn't really follow through in the later stages of him being our manager, and it just felt weird, because the radio shows were like, oh, what a season Motherwell have, and I can't believe they wanted Stuart Kettlewell to leave, and I mean the board didn't want him to leave, and because of course he got us to a cup semi-final this season, but I think it's the mentality of our club, because we know we have our limits, and as someone I'm an ambitious person. I'd like to see Motherwell do better. I mean, who wouldn't want their club to be better? But I just think
whoever owns Hamilton, I guess.
Yeah, but I just think that we could have done better with what we've got at the moment. I'm not saying that because I'm good at Football Manager. I just think that sometimes when the way we play football, it's not very easy on the eye, and we don't really utilise our potential. And but we're going to be into our 41st season in the top flight.
That's remarkable,
year, which is a fantastic stat considering we are just a provincial club.
Well, the bigger clubs, Motherwell have gone down. A lot of them have, yeah.
Rangers, Dundee United, Hearts, Hibs. But,
you do if you want to name them, go for it. Yeah.
No, but we are the third longest serving club currently in the top flight.
That's incredible. As two guys who had to kill to see our teams play one game in the top flight.
Can you imagine happening for 12 months? That's for sure.
Imagine seeing A United in a game of FIFA on match tack. There's the wee things we've never got to experience as fans of Championship runs.
I'm pretty sure.
Hopefully,
as soon as they enable a 16-team top flight,
we'll get there up on a formality. That'd be brilliant.
On merit.
Yes, yeah. Well, that doesn't sound like Scottish football. Anyway, moving swiftly on. Talking about someone that isn't too Scottish, you then get your new manager coming in, Vimmer. What's your thoughts so far on him?
I like him. I thought in his first interview he mentioned high press and high intensity, and I thought, right, this is something I can get behind. And
that's the kind of thing that makes me cover my eyes as my team's doing that.
No, the first three games, we played well against Dundee United, lost 1-0. But I mean, the lack of goal scoring threat we have up front has been prominent most of the season. But for us to play, we played decent, and we were unlucky not to get something from the game. But then moving on to the two games after that, we beat Dundee 2-1. We played really good football. We deservedly won the game, and then we go to Ibrox and turn Rangers over on their own patch. Now, this season's maybe.
I was going to say that's a common occurrence these days.
This season's a common thing, but before last year, we hadn't beaten Rangers in the league since Boxing Day 2002, and to go to Ibrox and win their 2 games in a row under different managers, under different circumstances, is a fantastic achievement for us. And to be there, living it and documenting it for the channel.
Good content, that is.
Oh, mate, it's wonderful. That's probably my favourite vlog I've ever done.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah.
Because it's not just the fact we beat Rangers, it's the fact that there's so many little funny things. Like there was a Rangers fan with an Andy Halliday scarf.
Was it Andy Halliday? No, it wasn't Andy Halliday himself. No, his mum.
Yeah, it was just like so many weird moments, but it was funny. It was just hilarious. And putting content out, like it was my most viewed Motherwell vlog of the season. Got 18,000 views, which is fantastic.
Shout out to the Celtic fans.
yeah, and all the other non-Rangers fans, because I think there's a common theme here this season, and having covered a few Rangers games now this season, obviously the views do a lot better when Rangers get beat, which is the funniest part of the video.
Well, be careful if you've looked at the comment sections of any of our TikTok videos. You are actually sitting with a couple of undercover Rangers fans. We're also undercover Celtic fans too, depending on the video.
I've had that as
be
well.
Careful.
Yeah.
Watch out. Yeah.
Just don't talk too highly of any team other than your own, and then you should be all right.
No, I think you can talk. You could literally sit and say you support any team in Scotland. But until you mention Celtic or Rangers, then that's the one that...
It's funny because we were sat there in that particular TikTok as well, where we really got it. He was wearing an Air shirt, I'm wearing a Rave shirt, Luke's wearing a Falkirk shirt, people still being undercover Celtic fans. Someone's found a top in a charity shop.
And it's only in Scotland you get that.
I was like, honestly, to be honest, we don't care.
None of us support the Old Firm, and we'll, even if we slightly praise them in a wee bit, if they've played well in a game, you say, oh, they played quite well, etc. And you still get people
The one that annoys me is when people always like, well, if you had to choose though, and I'm like, oh, no, I've got no lead. But if you had to, I'm like, well, if you had to choose between Callum and Beef and East Fife, I haven't got a leading. No, but if you had to though, if you had to, remember they're in the smelly and they play you, so. So yeah. Anyway, that's a bit of a tangent there. Sorry.
No, it's
had to get that off.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely true. Funny thing is, I was sat in the Rangers end of the League Cup final.
There we go.
Undercover Rangers fan of us.
No,
Great.
Mascus.
It was.
Yep. Andy Halliday stand.
I was at a point, right, where the channel was doing so well. I just thought, right, what can I do to keep evolving? And I just thought, right, what if I got a ticket for the Rangers Celtic game at the Cup final? I've done it before. Like I managed.
We were in the Rangers end for that one. Keep that one quiet.
Yeah, I was because I once got a hospitality ticket for a previous cup final between Rangers and Celtic, and I just thought that video did it all right. What about now? Because it's been a few years since I did that, and fun enough, I knew a Rangers fan who wasn't going, but he could get me a ticket. So I just messaged him, "You all right to get me a ticket?" He was like, "Aye, that's fine." So
think his pals like Steven Gerrard. You'll contact them.
Well, but yeah, I just thought, right, we'll just do it. And over that 1 week, I had 3 really well performing videos, and because I went to Man United against PAOK on the following Thursday, and that was up until the Scotland-Greece game. That was my most viewed video of the season. I got 40,000 views, which is not to be sniffed at when you're just a Motherwell fan covering these normal games that maybe get between 2,000 and 4,000 views. But to get 40,000 views in a video hadn't happened for me in a while. And then I got the Scotland versus Greece game, which got 63,000 views. And about 60% of the views came from Athens or
really?
the area of Greece. And
was that the home or away game?
That was the home game. I went across to Athens for the away game, and I got 6,000 views, which I was still happy at because Scotland won. For me, as long as your team wins, I really don't care how the video does. Right. But
if your team
gets beat, then I try my best to be as diplomatic as possible and try and hold a professional opinion.
Okay.
Because then whoever's watching from the other side will be like, "You know what? This guy's actually got a bit of knowledge about football."
You're doing a good job being professional. When we asked you your thoughts on Stuart Kettlewell outside, that's when we got the truth. We said, right, get that all out the system.
Cat out the bag.
Yeah. No, I do know what you mean with things, and yeah. So
as soon as the camera turns on, completely different personality for me. I turn myself up to 11.
Oh, we love that, and obviously loving the videos. And there's not many games left to go for Motherwell this season. Then,
thankfully.
So yeah, but things. You're safe. Brilliant start, 41 seasons. That's incredible. So, just to finish this off, then the Motherwell chat. How do you see things going, looking into next season? There's a big sort of Lennon Miller-shaped elephant in the room we've not mentioned. Yeah. He'll probably be on his way out this summer. You'd probably hope and expect, for his sake and his development. And we're going to have a natural feature on Lennon Miller. We're going to go touch on just so we won't speak about it for too long. But that's going to loom. Maybe a bit of money to be spent, or the money might be reinvested in the club.
I think the target is to get $5 million for Lennon Miller, and he goes with all my best wishes. I think the guy's a wonderful footballer. He's one of the best I've seen in a Motherwell shirt. He's got 60, 70 games under his belt as an 18-year-old. That's unheard of in Scottish football.
Captain of the team.
Most of the times we see so many under 21 players dipping in and out of first team, and they're protected too much. And that sort of puts a sort of cap on players' sort of abilities. You only get better with experience. And seeing Lennon Miller get as much game time, he's captain the club. He's now been in the Scotland squad. The sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, that was brilliant for him. Yeah, and I find very true. Motherwell's done such a good job at giving young players an opportunity in recent years. David Turnbull's, Alan Campbell's, players like that. John Wilson as well, getting plenty of first team opportunities. I find the comparison quite funny that the boy that's at Rangers is Bailey Rice.
Bailey Rice, yeah.
And the fact that's what I was saying. They're in the same youth team. Yeah. Both standout players. One goes to Rangers and is on the periphery of the squad. Looks like a brilliant player as well. In fairness, but not getting much opportunity. just cracked into the Scotland under-21 squad for the first time, whilst Lennon Miller's getting into the Scotland squad, senior squad, and getting a move. It's incredible. There's levels, yeah. But if you do feel if he stuck around at Motherwell, he'd probably be getting as much game time.
You also look at the likes of Jake Hasty, who jumped too soon as well to Rangers.
Well, he's worked out from in the end,
One of your boys now, but see if he stayed for another season at Motherwell, I think he'd have got moved down south.
Well, as he got his move down south.
So eventually, but it was Hartlepool.
Well, who's the striker as well, you guys?
James Scott.
James Scott.
Another one.
We did really well selling him, by the way, because we got like 1.75 million for him, and he was injured.
Yeah.
So when he turned up, I think it was Exeter City. I think
Hull City, no?
Oh, it was Hull City first. Yeah, that signed him, and they found out that he was crocked.
Really?
So it was funny to see that, because we're off to the bank for our massive payday, because I didn't expect to get that much for him.
Yeah.
But he showed flashes of potential, and he has a good football. He's quite technical. I mean, he saw some of the goals he scored for us when he was there in that sort of COVID curtailed season. But he was one of the reasons why we were third at that time.
Yeah. So it's all testament to the fantastic work done. The money that comes into the club can keep the club sustainable. You know, and whilst the playing squad signings that have been made aren't always the most flashy, you can see a bit sort of ragtag at times, like when the names coming in. But the infrastructure of the club must surely be what has propped them up at such a high level, keep the community close to the heart of that as well.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing better than keeping a community on side when you're winning games.
Winning games helps as well, doesn't it?
Winning games is the biggest factor of it.
So you're looking forward to next season. How many games until you turn on Michael Villa? Well, hopefully not.
I think it's always weird when you've got a manager that hasn't really been in Scottish football. Because I don't know how he's going to take the 4 Premier Sports Cup games. Because for me, that's a worry. Because when you've got a manager who hasn't really experienced it, like when we had Graham Alexander, we were very poor in those games as well. Yeah. Because sometimes some managers are guilty of treating those as pre-season when they really shouldn't. Because we don't have any chance of winning our league. So winning a cup is the closest we'll ever get to a trophy. We've not come close recently, but as long as for me, my expectation is winning all 4 games. Yeah. Because as the top seed, you should be looking to win every game, and it frustrates me when we don't. Yeah. Because sometimes we had a game against Queen's Park 2 seasons ago, but Queen's Park outplayed us, and we won 1-0 through a scrappy goal from John Obika, and it was just one of those games where you're just like, this just shouldn't be happening. Like, you should be looking
you want to hit the ground running really and start the new season.
100%. But there's always at least one game in every group stage where you struggle. And then some games you win at a canter, but it's those games that are struggles that help you progress for the rest of the season.
Was it Montrose you narrowly beat this season?
We beat Montrose in penalties.
Yeah, which is just sets the season off on a bit of a weird standard,
really
doesn't it? Yeah.
Because, I mean, we beat Edinburgh City 3-0, and really we should have been looking to beat them by a higher margin, because they've had a season of 2 halves really, because they were starting from scratch. Yeah. And we were drawing 0-0 with them at half time, I think. Yeah. And if we're talking ragtag, that was it, ragtag then, wasn't it? Yeah. Very worried, but managed to scrape through that group and managed to help us get to a cup semi-final even, which doesn't happen often. So
it's important for next season looking ahead.
But looking ahead,
I was going to ask as well, if you just want to touch on that, what you're going to say, sorry to cut you off there. If there's certain players in the squad as well, Fraser's favourite player in Scottish football, Stephen O'Donnell, lining up at centre-back. Yeah. Long-term Andy Halliday player of the season. Is there a few things you maybe want to see some of the older players start to move, maybe on faith house? Or...
I think it's important though, because of course it's the first hopefully the first full season of Wimmer's reign, and I think it's key to have a core of the squad that have been there for a while that can help blood in the new signings, and then maybe look to move them on for for the season after. But as long as we've got a good core of boys, because when we've done well, we've always had a good mix of the youngers and then the olders coming in, and they sort of help the youngers progress as players. And as long as we get a few decent players that fit into his system, I'm sure he already has his targets, but I think if we look to like the third Bundesliga or the second Bundesliga to get a couple of decent prospects coming in, maybe one or two on loan from a Bundesliga club, that would be really good to see.
Yeah, so look forward to next season.
Yeah. With cautious optimism.
Well, it's been a pleasure to learn a lot about Motherwell Football Club here, Fraser.
Certainly have, yeah.
Didn't know this was all going on.
It's going to be my second team next season.
Well, it is. Undercover Motherwell fan.
Oh, the allegations are coming out. So it's been a pleasure to catch up with you and all that. Yeah. Next up, we're going to have some challenges to come, which is a staple around here at Joga Bonito. People, that's what people turn up for.
We do love our challenges.
We do love it. It's game time. We don't have to sing a song. It's time to play the game. All right? Okay, so we've got 3 challenges to come up for you, and they're all going to be Motherwell themed because this has been a very Motherwell. Do you know anything about Motherwell? Or
I know a few things.
All right, so which challenge should we go for first, Fraser? No producer Jack to keep us.
I know. Listen, we should give him a call and ask what his thoughts are, but maybe we go. Could we do the Lennon Miller one? We've touched on it, or we're going to say that till then?
We do Lennon Miller football.
I'm choking to get into this one.
This is going to be good. We've been cooking here, right?
Yeah.
We have.
We've been.
I can smell the kitchen.
Well, we've been in deep deliberations for this one. So, right, do you want to open it up? Do the wee intro?
Yeah. I will.
You will? So what? We'll describe the challenge first,
yeah,
and then we'll give a quick snappy intro. So this is going to look into how good Lennon Miller is. So what do you think the potential of Lennon Miller is going to be in comparison to 5 levels of current players? Mm-hmm. Okay? So, and you're going to go through one at a time and tell us, do you think how good he'll be in comparison to this player there? Mm-hmm. So, Fraser, do you want to open this up?
Yeah, so levels 1 to 5, how good will Lennon Miller be in his career?
You ready, Goggsy?
Ready.
Right. Level 1, we've gone third, right?
We have.
Do you think Lennon Miller will be as good as Kenny McLean is currently?
I think he's better than Kenny McLean right now.
What do you say to that?
I mean, that's probably a fair
Kenny
point.
McLean gets into the Scotland squad because of his experience, right? But there has been constant chatter about whether he should drop out the Scotland squad. And I think Lennon Miller is a perfect replacement for him.
Yeah.
But hopefully he'll not just be a bit part player, but a key part of the squad.
Like Kenny McLean, we love you around here.
We do.
But he was the sounder. Level 1. Right. That's also right. Level 2.
Level 2, Matt O'Reilly.
I think he's definitely got the potential to be better than Matt O'Reilly.
Definitely. Confident on that one.
Yeah, I don't think it might be soon, but I don't think it'll be within the next couple of months, like he said to the media. But I definitely think he'll be better than what Matt O'Reilly is right now.
What were your thoughts on that?
I thought everyone knows what he's saying, but I think that he made the wee mistake of saying that in the next couple of months, because he's just an 18-year-old. But the culture in Scotland is,
down his neck.
Yeah. Like, the media did that all wrong, and they could have done something completely wrong. I mean, even the Scotland number 2 said that he'd made a mistake.
John Carver.
Yeah.
He went in too hard. I thought the media didn't do anything wrong. They did everything they want.
No, they made a mountain out of molehills, which is what they do.
Yeah, they were wanting to sell copies and they wanted to sell stories.
Clicks.
It was unfortunate, I think.
For me, I think John Carver has a lot to answer for because he should have backed his player, and he didn't.
Yeah, it's very Scottish.
I didn't love John Carver. John McGinn, I liked his sort of response. He kind of said, yeah, it was a bit stupid what he said, but he was like, you make those
he's bad by he's not digging out his teammates in any way.
Carver went too hard. I don't know whether it's that way where, Sir Alex Ferguson would, try and have a dig at his players to get a reaction or just to teach them a lesson. But I don't think Lennon Miller, he didn't need to be taught a lesson. He said something that actually in any other country would probably be praised because
exactly, we should be celebrating that ambition because we don't have enough people with ambition in Scotland.
Yeah.
For me, especially media-wise, I think Scotland's quite far behind down south, and there aren't as many opportunities in Scotland for people. We're all boys looking for jobs in the media, so get our WhatsApp if you want. But we're all looking for opportunities, and in Scotland we're very limited, and a lot of people go down south, and that's where the big money is. And for that, I think the ambition in Scotland is just, it's almost non-existent, and it frustrates me in a way.
No, I see it as a thing.
Are we still talking about Lennon Miller here? Is this?
It's gone a bit deeper, this, hasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, the way our culture is if anyone's seen to be trying to be better than what they are supposed to be, then we shouldn't do.
Well, this is it's an interesting thing. Obviously, having been Callum Rovers myself before, I remember Chris Ewing, the owner of the club, lived out in France himself, and he really, spoke to me quite a bit about how when he came back, the only place where people would sort of, he's an ambitious guy and he's done big things with the Braves, being ambitious, gone different. The only place where people would always try and shut him down is when he came back to Scotland. But in France, a big American audience where everyone's really positive. Oh, you're trying something different, good for you. Comes back to Scotland, it's very much like, why are you doing that? Why are you trying to be different? Yeah. And it's like you can love it or hate what the Braves have done. Anyone's allowed to have their opinion, but it's just like, don't knock someone for being, I guess, ambitious at the end of the day. It's like that's not the issue. So, Lennon Miller. Got your back, bro. Yeah. Good guy.
So better than Matt O'Reilly then? Currently, better than Matt O'Reilly?
Currently, I don't think he's far off ability-wise.
Already?
Well, I do think that he has the potential to outshine Matt O'Reilly.
Okay, well,
I think going Matt O'Reilly this season, maybe.
Yeah, Matt O'Reilly.
Potentially make the argument, Matt O'Reilly and his pomp at Celtic.
I think he was unplayable while he was in Scotland.
He'd probably be like the level 3 option there, but I'd still probably take Lennon overall ability. Yeah. Well, Matt O'Reilly's
potential.
Matt O'Reilly's got his own potential as well, but we're just talking current ability right now.
Exactly.
Right, level 3, Ryan Christie. I'm going to redo that in my voice. Cracked terribly. Well, the long one. Ryan Christie, level 3.
I think he has the potential to be better.
Ryan Christie's been phenomenal this season.
Well, the thing is, Ryan Christie always had the potential, but he's only just realised it because he's been playing in a different sort of position than what he started at with Cali and Aberdeen and Celtic, because he was originally seen as a wide player. But now he's sort of been centralised. He's a revelation because he still has that bit of pace, and he's a great pivot. And
very clever player.
He is a very clever player. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves. He really doesn't. But I think Lennon Miller, with the longevity of his career, hopefully, I think he'll be better.
It's crazy to think. I'd really love to. There's probably hundreds of players in Scottish football over the years that have been chipping away at a position that they're probably not best suited at, and actually given an opportunity like Areola gave to Christie,
brilliant manager that. Then you never know.
I don't know. Like Luke McCowan was playing on the wing for Ayr United and Dundee, and then he was brought into. I'd love to. Honestly, there's probably hundreds of players out there, so it's great to see Ryan Christie fulfil that.
What do you think Lennon Miller's long-term position, if he's going to maximise his potential, where that is? Because we've seen him quite far forward, but he's the kind of player that you also would love to see drop deep, pick up the ball, dictate things a bit.
I think he's a deep line playmaker.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah, I think when he's been played further forward, that's where Motherwell have been found out in midfield.
Do you think you might be losing a bit from him if he's not, if he's playing like a 6 instead of an 8?
I don't think so, because he sees more of the game if he's playing deeper.
He's so tenacious, and I think he's brilliant. If you watch, I feel like a 14-year-old, but if you watch Lennon Miller compilation videos on YouTube, half of the highlights are
him picking the ball from deep.
Exactly, just getting his foot in, winning the ball back, sliding in, brilliant last-ditch tackles.
Yeah,
I think that's maybe one of his best attributes.
He plays like a leader as well, doesn't he?
Yeah. So to put him in like a number 10, you're losing out on parts of his game that I think are as good as his creativity. Yeah, so if you can get him in a role like Jude Bellingham is.
Oh, now who's talking about Lennon Miller? Put Jude Bellingham in the same sentence.
Well, like a player like these kind of players, Valverde, McAllister, all these players are combative, but they've got creativity as well.
Yeah.
He's similar to them, so I think personally,
just wait till Lennon is playing like left wing and right back for Scotland in the future. He'll be one of the best number 6s in the world. But Billy Gilmore's in there. Put him right back.
Yeah.
Right. Should we move on to level 4?
Level 4, yes.
It's your turn.
Level 4, Scott McTominay.
Looks ass.
Oh,
We're heating things up here.
yeah, we really are.
A bit of Italian flair.
Yeah.
2 assists last night against Genoa. He's player of the month in Serie A.
Potentially on
Do you know
the
her?
top of a Scudetto.
Do you know her? I hardly know her.
I like that.
Motherwell.
Doesn't make any sense.
I think, for the sake of the video, I'm going to say he's got.
Hey, no.
Not for the
Not for the
sake
sake of it. You.
For the sake of your heart.
Yeah.
For my heart, yes. I think he's got the potential to go further than Scott McTominay.
We're talking about one of the best midfielders in Serie A.
In the world right now, actually.
In the world. Wow.
Yeah.
Scotland's most influential player, arguably.
Yeah.
He is, but I think
But he's not Lennon
Miller
Miller.
will be in a few months.
I think he's not Lennon Miller. Lennon Miller, I think, has got the potential to go further than Scott McTominay.
Now, what Scott McTominay's probably massively added to his game is getting up to double digits in goals. Do you think Lennon Miller will have sort of goal contributions added into his game as well?
No, but I don't think that's important for the position he plays in.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that's done McTominay a disservice is the fact he spent so long at Man United. Because he was scapegoated by Man United fans. And I think, well, maybe because he's Scottish, but I think he was underrated by Man United. And they made a massive mistake in selling him because he was one of the match winners for that Man United team of last season. And, well, now he's flourishing at Napoli.
Well, I think he's possibly the best example of just giving a player that played in the wrong position. He was not playing. He was playing in a
Like Steve Clark played him at centre half.
What?
Oh, Jose Mourinho did that first, so
Yeah.
It's also the fact he kind of worked for a minute in Scotland, but it was clear to see he was misidentified. To be fair to Steve Clark, he's probably one of the first ones that put him right up there, though, as like almost a second striker, and that's when he's seen his best.
Yeah.
But misidentified the fact he was played in a double pivot with Fred, and neither of those players are defensive midfielders.
No.
They're both brilliant players getting forward, but I don't think you would have seen McTominay flourish as he did in the same team as Bruno Fernandes. So that's probably it.
yeah, another player similar to maybe McTominay that you could maybe look at for guidance as to where Lennon Miller's career could go. Lewis Ferguson, who probably played in a more defensive role at Aberdeen and Hamilton, but now
developed to go further forward.
Yeah, I actually at Bologna now. I think he's now dropped back a little bit again, but he became a sort of a goal scoring, attacking midfielder. So maybe Lennon Miller, he's got all those attributes as well as we talked about.
It's funny, right? Because in the car on the way here, I actually said it'd be great to see Lennon Miller sign for a club in the same sort of stature as Bologna.
You just said Bologna. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Fraser said Bologna.
Yeah.
But I think
Knowledge, interconnectivity.
it just
We
makes
hadn't
so
even
much
met
sense.
and we had the same thought.
Beautiful.
That's how perfect I think that move would be. Bologna, I love the Scottish
See
market.
if Ferguson was to go to Juventus, and then Miller comes in seamlessly, it'd be...
If they sell Lewis Ferguson 25-30 million and get Lennon Miller in for 4 or 5, then
4 or 5, yeah.
you're wanting a bit more. But that's unbelievable. That's
That'd be unbelievable.
That's unbelievable business. Because then he'll probably go on to be a 15-20 million pound player at least, Lennon Miller. So if he
I
hits
think
potential.
the way his trajectory is right now, I think it wouldn't be far fetched to say Lennon Miller could play 50 times for Scotland in his career.
Oh yeah,
50. 100.
I mean, Kenny McLean, Grant Hanley have done in 75.
Just remember, we're Scottish and we have to underplay our ambition.
Oh, we do. Yeah, you're feeding into the problem here.
Feed it into the narrative.
If Grant Hanley and Gary McLean are making 50 caps, Lennon Miller.
Sure, Armstrong.
But listen, these are good players, but Lennon Miller, he's making more than 50 caps for Scotland, surely.
We'll wait and see.
I'd love to see it.
So, Scott McTominay, you're saying he's going to surpass him, which is a big shout.
Yes.
I mean, you've made it all the way to level 5. How do you feel?
I feel like I'm a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Well, you're not going to walk out of here with £1 million, unfortunately.
Budget cuts.
You're well, but there's a budget. Right, level 5, Jude Bellingham. We've gone all the way to the top here.
That's where I'm capping it. Jude Bellingham is a wonderful player.
He's not bad.
Yeah, but I don't think Lennon Miller will be as good as Jude Bellingham, but I think Lennon Miller is good enough to be, I think he'll be in the top 5 leagues for sure. I do think he'll win silverware in his career, but I don't think he'll be Jude Bellingham level.
Champions League player, but maybe not quite.
I think
Real Madrid.
he'll play for a club that qualifies for the Champions League, I think. But it would be nice to see a sort of a journey of his career. I don't want to see him go straight to the top right now. I'd like to see him go as I said, to a Bologna or someone along those lines, maybe a Brentford, a club that has potential to Bologna have been in Champions League this season, and they will hopefully be next season for their cause. But I do think as long as he gets to a sort of Band C, Band B type of club, and then go to a potential giant in the future, that would be the progress I'd like to see. Because if he goes to a club the size of Bologna, there's a chance of a good sell-on for us as well.
I think what this just shows us, maybe 10 years ago, if we'd done this with a player like Lennon Miller, you'd probably think, look, if he got...
No, he'd go to the English Championship.
Oh yeah, if he got to Everton or Tottenham, maybe Aston Villa, that would be phenomenal. But now, because you've seen the career paths of Billy Gilmore, Lewis Ferguson, Aaron Hickey,
Scott McKenna.
Scott McKenna, exactly. Like you're looking at bigger clubs and thinking, actually,
The horizon's bigger.
Like Lennon Miller, if he's given the tools and the opportunity to go and cut his teeth somewhere slightly bigger than Motherwell, then one day just needs to be given a chance. Can go anywhere.
Tony Watt was ahead of his time with his move to Bulgaria, whatever it was. He was ahead of his time. He knew what he was doing there. So that's been fun. So he's got to level 4 completed.
Yeah.
That's a high bar.
So he's winning Serie A with Napoli, you think?
Fingers crossed.
I wouldn't say no to it.
Either would I.
Right, next up, we're going to have your next challenge. This is going to be a quick fire cut, keep, bench and sell for the full Motherwell squad. You're going to have to move quickly, and mine's going to have to be sharp here.
Okay, I'm ready.
Which I'm not saying he's not, of course.
I'm second guessing, just whatever first comes into your head.
We'll go through them quick fire. If there's one or two in here you want to just give a little bit more. How have you got so many players?
Injuries.
Goodness, I'm
Sure you want to do absolutely every single one?
We're going to do every single one.
36 players. Here we go.
Right, you ready?
Off flip.
Right, Goggsy is going to be keep bench or sell. Okay, It's going to be keep, bench, sell the full Motherwell squad. You ready?
Yeah.
You look like you have a stern look in your face.
Ready to pounce.
This man is itching for that.
He's not broke eye contact with me for a minute. Right, you ready?
Yeah.
Archie Mayer,
Oh, he'll be gone.
Stephen O'Donnell,
Keep.
Steve Seddon,
Keep.
Liam Gordon,
Keep.
Kofi Barmer,
Keep.
Davos.
Davos Stravkovsky.
You say it.
Davos Stravkovsky.
Yeah.
Release.
Thanks for your help on that one. Tom Sparrow,
Keep.
Callum Slattery,
Keep.
Zach Robinson,
Oh, release.
Andy Halliday,
Keep.
Harry Payton,
Release.
Aston Oxborough.
Keep.
Do you think we'll be number 1 next year?
I hope so.
Yeah, I like him. Oh my god! Oh my goodness!
Stammy.
Apostolos Stamatolopoulos.
You say that for me again, and then
Apostolos Stamatolopoulos.
yeah, him.
Keep.
No one's getting benched here. This is a big.
Oh no, this is a big starting lineup. Dan Casey.
Keep.
Yeah, he's a great player. He might be. Paul McGinn.
Keep.
Ross Callahan.
Release.
Come on,
I mean, we're not paying him to be a barber.
He's not put a foot wrong in the Motherwell team.
It's because he's not played.
Oh, no. Exactly. Sam Nicholson.
Release.
I kind of forgot he was there, Sam Nicholson.
I feel sad saying release for Sam Nicholson because I like him as a player, but he's too injury prone. We can't afford players to be injury prone.
Yeah, it's tough on that. Shane Blaney.
Release.
Marvin Coletta.
He'll be going back to Wolves.
Would you want him back?
Nah.
Bench. Oh, there you go.
John Kudtrombus. Is that correct?
Johnny Kachumbis, keep.
Ewan Wilson.
Lower out.
Yeah, I like that. Moses Abayi. Is that pronounced?
Release. Moses Abai.
Abayi. London Miller.
Sell.
So he's thinking money.
Got to reinvest in the squad. So as long as we get a good chunk for him.
What's your minimum fee?
5 million is my starting fee.
He's starting fee.
See, that's crazy to me. Sorry to jump in, but you don't get players like that at your team too often, and you're selling them, putting them off for money.
He's got a year left in his deal.
It's a reinvest back into the club.
Yeah,
I know, but
organic cycle.
Why'd you go to Fir Park?
To hopefully see Motherwell win games.
To see Ross Callahan captain the team, or Andy Halliday.
Hey, he's a good captain of the Rovers, Ross Callahan, right?
Miller. Yeah. So I know, yeah.
Well, sort of the Ajax system, players do have to leave, so other players can come through.
No, of course, I get that.
Right, Kai Andrews.
He'll be going back to Coventry, but I would keep him.
Tony Watt.
Cape.
Oh my goodness. Tawanda
Maswanizi.
Tawanda Maswanizi.
Cape, definitely.
Dominic Thompson.
Let go.
Right, you're going to have a lot of loans here, so just tell us if you want them back or if you'd like to see them back. Luke Plange.
Get him out of the club.
What do you want to do with him?
Oh, no, I'm not having him back.
Will Dixon.
Release.
Luke Armstrong.
No, I wouldn't keep him. No.
It's a celebration.
Let him go.
It's a celebration. What is that against Blue Shark? What is it? What's your soul?
He's like if Sam Ryder was a footballer.
Callum Ward.
It's keep bench keeper.
Delighted about that one. Buzzing.
Oh.
Well, you need a backup goalie. Jack Vale.
Let go.
Ellery Balcombe.
Let go.
Oh, exciting one. Finish us off it. Jared Tavares.
Oh my gosh, let him go. Let him go. I'd have taken him back to Hibs myself.
Do you want to drive him back?
I would if I could drive.
Gonna learn how to drive.
I'll pay the taxi fee. There you go.
You're gonna learn to drive just so you can.
Just so I could take
get your license.
Tavares back to Hibs.
What a signing he's been. That's the full squad. What a squad, man. What a squad.
Are you sure that's all 36?
I think so. Yeah. Goodness me, there's a lot of players there, right?
Yeah. Too many.
Too many. Yeah. Cut down around.
Yeah. Michael Wimmer said he wants to keep a squad of 22. And when our training ground is like Takeshi's castle, good luck to him.
Very true. Right, we've got time for one more challenge.
We do.
Right, Goggsy, what is your all-time Motherwell 5-a-side team that you could enter into the upcoming Sammon Pizzeria's competition? Which we're playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're playing. We'll be there.
I think in goals I'd go with Dan Randolph.
Okay. Good. Great.
Sidebar, my uncle, who's the team doctor, at the time he signed from Charlton, he said he was the fittest goalkeeper he'd ever seen. But then again, he was going out with one of the Saturdays at the time. No wonder he was all fired up.
Well.
So was that what Saturday?
Rochelle Wiseman. Who's now with Marvin Humes.
Yeah.
Getting all the insides here.
There you go.
Yeah. From Motherwell to JLXC.
Yeah.
It's a downfall from Rochelle.
Just like shit.
Yeah, well, he was a great goalie.
Yeah.
Is he good with his feet?
I thought he was really good. He's one of the best goalkeeper I've ever seen Motherwell have. In my time, in my short time as on the centre.
That's a human.
All right, Goggs, I've got to ask: are you in this team? Are you playing with the boys?
No.
Where are you?
If it was 6-a-side, maybe. But in defence, I would have Sean Hutchison, who's now at Millwall, I believe.
Why are we going for him?
Because he's a tall centre half. Just for the song alone, Big Sean Hutchie is a Geordie lad. Get past him if you fucking can.
Like a lovely song that is.
Yeah. Midfield, I would go with
What formation are you playing?
a diamond. So
Ooh.
1-2-1. I would say the two midfielders. Put Faddy in.
Of course.
Got to have James McFadden.
Is he like the best player you've seen in the final?
What? Yeah, he's a wonderful player. If I was 15 years old, I'd say David Cooper.
I know.
But I would definitely go with James McFadden as my number one Motherwell player.
Who's more talented, him or Landon Miller?
Different positions, so you can't.
What a cop out!
Yeah.
Is it different?
Who's more talented? Yeah.
Didn't McFadden played centrally and is who?
In terms of pure talent.
Pure talent, I'd say Lennon Miller.
Oh,
But
no, I like it.
Potential recency bias there, but
you could say that. But
No,
Faddy unfortunately had a lot of injuries, and that sort of gave him a ceiling in his career. But one thing that I am really gutted about him is he'll never get 50 caps. He's sitting on 48.
is that all?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I would have put my house on him having won 50.
When I interviewed him about 5 or 6 years ago, he said that when I asked him if there was one day he could go back to his career, he said it would be the day that he injured his cruciate ligament.
Oh, right.
And
You'll look for a nice fun answer there, I'm sure.
I was.
Take us back to France, no.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that was his.
That was, yeah.
Yeah, but no, it was wonderful, and they were on first name terms.
Oh.
So
That's big time, that is.
yeah. Unfortunately, he's not in my phone book.
Oh, not
Do you
yet.
call him James or do you call him Faddy?
I call him Faddy.
That's so you're on second name terms.
Because he calls me Goggsy.
Nice.
Yeah.
See, like, we've replaced Luke, who knows him as well, with another man who knows him. So
I've once asked him a question.
Well, with Luke, it's more of a professional relationship, surely.
Oh, what's your
Not with Fat Boy.
Here's a more intimate relationship.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
I once
it's like a father figure.
for Euro 2020, I was working. I was a volunteer, accreditation volunteer. It was not the exciting job that I'd hoped it'd be, but in the lead up to it, they were doing a sort of online. It was obviously during COVID time, so Hayley McQueen was hosting a sort of online live stream, basically for all the volunteers, just prior to the tournament, and you could email in a question, and James McFadden was on the panel, so I emailed in a question, and I asked out of all from his time playing for Scotland, who would he take? If he could take one player from his time playing for Scotland, who would he take and put in the current squad? At that time, it was obviously 2021.
Good question.
And I thought it was good enough. Hayley McQueen read it out and said Fraser Godden. I thought Hayley McQueen's just read out my question. I was watching it live, and she asked James McFadden, and he cop out. Wouldn't say.
What did he
Said, "Oh, I can't say that."
Oh,
I thought I was hoping, he might have said Alan Hutton, because he would have
Because we didn't really have a
right back. Yeah.
right back.
Goggsy, get on it.
So Alan,
Tell him.
do you know what he said?
Goggsy, yeah.
He said
Why not?
himself.
That's Fraser's question.
He said himself. I thought, James, that's as much as I loved him though. He was my hero as a kid, but disappointed with that answer.
Goggsy, favourite James McFadden moment?
It's got to be that night in Paris. It's definitely there, but I think his best goal was the volley scored against Charlton at the Valley for Everton.
Okay.
The ball came to him, he flicked it over one player and then just
Oh,
volleyed.
What's your favourite?
It has to be in Paris, doesn't it? Or maybe against Macedonia when he went to Maisie.
The Maisie run, that was...
But that didn't have quite it was that one. Also, I was probably too young. How old was I? Was it 2003? For the Euro 2004 qualifying, and it was the first leg Scotland at home. Him and Darren Fletcher
Against Holland.
against Holland.
Yeah.
And they won 1-0, and then they went to Amsterdam and lost 6-0.
That was before my time as a football fan, unfortunately.
It was probably just before mine actually, but if you look back, what a goal that
was wonderful.
Dan Fletcher around the corner, like
Don't worry, the TikTok edit this is going to be beautiful. All these goals are like, don't worry.
Yeah. As long as you don't get a copyright claim.
Oh no, he knows how to handle that. He's a lawyer. This technically.
Yeah, good.
we know people. It's fine.
We know some people. Yeah,
We know the law.
Next midfielder.
I would say Stephen Jennings.
Okay.
Big hard man in the middle of the park.
Important for fives.
I think so, because you need that sort of enforcer that sort of breaks up the opposition attack. And I think he'd be fantastic to just...
I'm getting Goggsy's philosophy as a manager. He likes a physical
I like
exit
a
baller, don't you?
Yeah, I like a physical number 6 or an 8 that's just... Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if you've got James McFadden next to you to break it up, just give the ball to him.
Exactly. And up front, I would go with Michael Houghton.
You've got a lot of good options up top.
Yeah, a lot of good options. I would say Louis Moult's on my bench, but because Michael Higdon was our post-war record breaker for goals in a season, just purely for that.
Richie Foran's at home crying right now. He's up in the wall there, and he's not even getting a sniff.
No, he doesn't get a sniff, unfortunately. But Michael Higdon, because you could fire the ball in any way, shape or form, and he'd find a way to put it in the net.
Really, I mean, I wouldn't fancy coming up against Theo Bear in a football cage.
Very true, actually.
That would be quite,
these pitches are like boxes that world of football. So, hard walls, you kick the ball off it, but I think
Samba.
Perfect.
We already have our flair. We already have our flair Try it again. We already have our flair player in James McFadden, so you need to go sort of a different technicality.
I like the team that's got a bit of everything.
Yeah.
How far would this team get in the Sam's Pizzeria competition?
It would win 100%.
I think so. Going all the way.
A bit disrespected to your Callum, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys, but my Motherwell past team would definitely win.
fair enough.
Win the competition. Do you think they're interested in coming along? Put some sounders out.
Look down the barrel of the camera there.
Right. I'm calling you out, guys. Motherwell former players, come on, play at this. I'll start that again.
There's no chance they're coming after that. Come on,
No,
Goggsy.
definitely.
Come on, Goggsy.
Calling all former Motherwell players, I challenge you to a duel in the Sammon's Pizzeria 5-a-side tournament. Saturday, 14th of June. Be there or be square.
Wow, that was like
Every single former Motherwell
Yeah.
player. That was Brad Tavares.
I felt like I was in the changing room at Darvel there with Mick Kennedy doing his speech. I've got goosebumps. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well, no, former Motherwell player Cole Stars messaged me and say he's enjoying the podcast. So
Oh, wonderful.
we've got one from
Like you look down the barrel of the gun now and I'm just gonna call him out.
Do you think he'd be the star of your team if you hired him?
He would. Oh, I see what you did.
as that was good.
He would go for sure.
Oh well,
For sure. What a player.
Yeah.
And he's got a football brain as well, Callum. That's
He's a coach.
He could organise us beautifully. So
Yeah.
Cole, if you're watching,
I reckon the knees could hold up. Come on, 12-minute game.
yeah,
Surely.
we could get a ride there in style as well. In the back of his BMW. That would be
So yeah, shout out. He's listening.
Yeah.
Man. Well, the other Motherwell man in our life, Goggsy. This has been a pleasure.
Of course.
You know, are you still drinking that tea?
Yeah.
It's been out for about 2 hours now.
Yeah. Pleasure's all on this side of the table.
So what's coming up for you then with the channel and everything?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm hoping to go to the World Cup next year.
Oh, that'll be good.
That would be amazing, but I need to do a lot of content to sort of fill the gap between now and the World Cup. I'm going to every Scotland game.
Yeah,
love that.
Home and away.
Love that.
Home and away, yeah. I'm going to Liechtenstein. Doing a mini week tour of Europe for that week. But I'm also wanting to branch out because, of course, you can't really make a living out of going to see Motherwell every week, which is a shame. But I'm just covering as many big Scottish games as possible. Like I've got a ticket for the Cup final next week. I'm also covering 3 games this
Who are
week
you supporting?
in Motherwell.
In the in the Scottish Cup final.
Yeah, Motherwell. Doesn't matter what game. I'm always supporting Motherwell.
Oh right, okay.
It's not bad. Thanks for asking.
Of course.
We've almost got this whole thing about doing it. That was a line we practiced.
Yeah, but I've been to Greece recently. I went to Portugal this season, seeing Porto against Olympiacos. That was a great experience. So I think I want to start going to more European matches. So I'll do the qualifiers that the Scottish teams are playing in. And then when it gets to the Champions League, Europa League, Conference League, I'll sort of pick and choose. I'll just look on Skyscanner for the cheapest flights. So sort of align that. One thing I want to do is I want to do a challenge on like 7 games in 7 days in 7 countries, or something like that. Or you know how like the qualifiers of European football, you've got the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday games. I want to do that 3 days, 3 different games, 3 different countries would be definitely something up there. But I just need to be more inventive because you can only do so much when you're just covering games. So
Yeah.
I want to maybe branch out, do some football challenge videos as well. Like I look up to Chris MD quite a lot because like he made the sort of switch from FIFA videos to doing real life content. But there's a lot of money to invest in content because you don't get anywhere with. Well, you get a lot with an iPhone, but this is not sponsored. But
Free promotion for Apple again.
but there is a ceiling again. But I just want to sort of branch out, get a different audience because as much as my current audience is fantastic, again, there's only so many opportunities you can get with just 14,000 subscribers, which is mad to say. Yeah. It's big for Scotland because there's not many creators on the YouTube scene that have as many subscribers on YouTube, because it's notoriously harder to get subscribers on YouTube than it is on TikTok. Because I mean, I've hardly done any TikTok, and I've already got 4,000 followers on TikTok, which
Can you give us some?
by all means, guys. But yeah, YouTube for me, the long form stuff, that's what I love doing. I struggle with the short form stuff, so if you could give me any help with that, I'd love that. But yeah, just growing the channel, going to as many high profile games. I have a dream of covering a game in every round of like a Champions League or Europa League, something like that. So just do stuff like that. That's what I love doing.
Oh yeah, brilliant. Keep up the great work as well. You said there's a ceiling. Goggsy, we think you can smash through that ceiling some, don't you? What?
Yeah, it's just up there.
Yeah. If you try to smoke keepy uppies in here, there's a chance there could be some serious damage.
Yeah, that good.
Serious damage to Fraser's ceiling here, which is also you've also lost a bet to me in our most recent TikTok as well. I did actually, yeah. So this is actually my house now, so be careful. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, Goggsy. So if the people want to see more of you, where can they find you?
On YouTube, Goggsy99. On Instagram, GOGGSY, because that's what people sometimes say when they see me. And
did you say it?
Yeah, that's exactly what people say. Did you say it? Yeah. And on Twitter at GOGGSY99, as in the Brooklyn 99 thing. You know.
Nice.
Sound nice.
I like it.
I know.
Brilliant. So we're absolutely buzzing as well to be invited to this tournament. We're utterly thankful for you for inviting us, but for putting it all on, Fraser. You're hard in training.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I've been working hard, been working my ball skills in the back garden there with Goggsy before. We were doing some drills. A wee rondo and amongst my bed sheets that are hanging on the washing line. So
rough and tumble in the sheets.
Very true.
Yeah. No, but once again, thank you very much for having me, guys. I really enjoyed myself.
Oh,
pleasure.
Pleasure's been all ours. Welcome back anytime as well. And people go check out Goggsy and all the good stuff he's doing.
Yeah. And check out Joga Bonito.
Oh, yeah, they have done. Yeah.
If they've made it this far,
keep coming back. Yeah. So, Fraser, that rounds up episode 15. It's been a pleasure.
That's good. Yeah. No, that was another phenomenal episode in the bank. Do we look a wee challenge, or do we not bother?
It's just going to embarrass us to do that.
Yeah, I think so. I guess we should wish him well on his holiday.
Yeah. Luke, have a good time. We'll see you back next week. We'll talk a bit about the playoffs and everything. We've sort of, Fraser actually, this Goggsy, by the way, a bit just information you should have known. Fraser arranged this whole episode, so we didn't have to just talk about the air game on the weekend. Just wanted to.
What air game, man?
On Friday.
I just remember the air game from last Tuesday. I don't remember.
That game's been aired.
Sorry.
The jokes are all flying out of the end now.
It's like, look, it's here.
Maybe it's the influence of us and
Of course, mate, of course. You just tell yourself that.
Brings out the terrible patter, I was going to say, but it's been a pleasure. We'll be back next week. We'll probably just look ahead to the playoffs, everything going on at the moment. But otherwise, that is the end of this episode of Joga Bonito.
Exactly.
And what did they say? Joga Bonito?
It's finito.
Yeah. What else does Luke say? So
no, I can't do that. I wouldn't do it justice.
E.T. don't go changing.
No, more.
Oh, Spencer FC.
Yeah, Luke
you got to look down the barrel of the gun again.
Don't go changing. We need a new outro.
Yeah, we do actually.
Right.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
All right, Goggsy, thank you one more time.
Thank you.
Give us a don't go changing.
Don't go changing.